Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. It's Thursday, June 19th, 2025. And you know what that means? It's 2 days until the official first day of summer, right? June 21st. So thank you so much for tuning in today to the live video. I am Chef Valerie Wilson, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful state of Michigan, where we've had 2 days of rain, and now we have some sun, which is awesome. I'm happy about the rain because my garden got watered and my beautiful rose plants got watered. And I have black raspberries growing in the back of my yard also that I'm hoping to get a great batch of black raspberries this year. The plants are starting to bud, and it looks like I'm going to have a lot of berries. So if you are tuned in and you're watching me, go ahead and leave a comment and say hello. Let me know where you're tuned in from. It's always fun to interact with the people who are watching the live video. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. And also, if you get the opportunity, hit that like button. Greatly appreciate that. So today, I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite summer vegetables, arugula. In fact, I have arugula planted in my garden, and I'm hoping to get a lot of arugula this year because I pretty much buy arugula every week at the store. And I'm also going to talk to you about nitric oxide, which when you eat arugula, it helps your body produce nitric oxide. And I'm going to explain to you what it is and why it's so good for you, right? Hello from Garden City, Michigan. Dawn Fallis says, hello, Dawn. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so arugula. I pretty much buy it every week from the store. It's a leafy green vegetable. And I usually get a container, baby arugula. Always organic. I always emphasize that you eat organic food. You don't want to eat pesticides and chemicals. We don't want that sprayed on our food because that affects our health. And so you definitely want to eat organic food whenever possible. So arugula, let's see here. I'll show you a piece of what it looks like. Kind of interesting. Some of them are a little more pretty. See how it has leaves like that? Arugula. So have you had arugula? What do you think of arugula? Usually most people have had arugula in salads, right? You can leave a comment. You know, even if you're watching this on replay, if you're not watching live, you can leave a comment. Let me know what you think of arugula. Hold on a minute. Oh boy. All right, so arugula is in the kale cabbage family. So that means it's in the cruciferous vegetable category. That includes kale, collard greens, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, and arugula. Now, they've done a lot of research about vegetables that are in the cruciferous family to show that they have anti-cancer properties, which is fantastic. They're very high in antioxidants to help fight off diseases, all right? And being a leafy green, exceptionally high in iron. So whenever you're eating foods that have that dark green color, you're going to get lots of iron, and that's fantastic. Now, arugula has a very interesting taste because it is a leafy green. Its signature flavor is bitter, but it also has like a peppery taste, which is so interesting. It kind of has like a bite to it on your tongue, which I really enjoy. A lot of people enjoy. So it really brings out a leaf lettuce salad. You know, you've got your beautiful organic leaf lettuces in there. If you put a little bit of arugula in there, it brings out the flavor, makes it so much more flavorful. I like to chop up arugula and put it in many different dishes, especially in the summertime. So just this week, for my regular customers, because I am a personal chef and I cook for people every week. I made a beet tofu asparagus salad with a Dijon mustard dressing that I put chopped up arugula in. I made a wild rice salad with green olives, radishes, peas, and corn. And I put some chopped up arugula in it. And I made a delicious light summertime miso soup with asparagus and grated carrots. And I seasoned that with a mellow miso, and I put chopped up arugula in it. So my point is that you can chop the arugula up and you can put it in just about any dish that you're going to make this week. But always remember that it does have a bitter taste to it, and it has that bite to it like it's peppery. So don't put a lot. And because it's so nutrient dense, high in iron, it's also really high in calcium, super high in vitamin C. You don't need a lot. A lot of people, they get like this package of arugula, which is 5 ounces, and they think they're going to make a salad and they use all 5 ounces. And then when they try and eat it, it's bitter. It just doesn't, you can't eat it. And so that's why I always teach cooking tips. And when you tune into a live here like this, I try and walk you through like how to use the food so you're going to enjoy it. So remember, arugula is bitter to the taste. So don't use a lot of it. Like if I'm going to make a leaf lettuce salad, I'll just take my fingers. You don't even have to measure, and just do like a little handful of it like this and just chop that up and put that in your salad. You'll get the beautiful flavor of the arugula in the background. It won't be overpowering, and you won't be like turned off from it, because some people are turned off from the bitter flavor, right? And so when you work with arugula, remember a little bit goes a long way, but it's so fantastic for you that you definitely want to eat it. I'm going to tell you more health benefits about arugula here in a minute, but let's get started with this recipe. I'm going to teach you a recipe during the live, and it is one of my favorite recipes. I think I make this every single week also. It's arugula chips. So maybe you've heard of kale chips, where you bake the kale in the oven. Some people dehydrate the kale, but I bake it in the oven. So I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to bake the arugula. I'll put a little bit of flavor, a little bit of seasoning on it, so it's very delicious. So it's going to get crispy, and it's going to be like a crispy snack. And I think, who doesn't like a crispy snack, right? So let me walk you through the recipe. It's pretty easy, but there's some little tips and techniques I'm going to show you so that you really bring out the flavor of the arugula, and you're going to like this. So first of all, get yourself a big bowl that you can mix things in, and take your arugula and put it in the bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and do all 5 ounces of the arugula to make my arugula chips. You don't have to. You can do a smaller portion if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it all right? Now we're going to want to put some olive oil on our arugula. And I use organic, extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil is mono unsaturated fat. It's heart healthy fat. They literally have been eating and utilizing olive oil for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, I happen to have this nifty little spray bottle with my olive oil in it. Makes it really easy to disperse the olive oil through the greens, through the arugula. But if you didn't, you could just drizzle the olive oil on. But watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of pick up the arugula. I'm going to squirt some olive oil in there. I'm going to drop some down. I'm going to squirt. Okay. I'm going to do that again. So I'm putting olive oil on the arugula in various different places. But this little bottle here that I'm squirting doesn't really squirt very much. So we don't run the risk of our arugula chips being overly, what's what I'm looking for? Overly oily. You just want a little bit. And now I'm going to take the best kitchen tools that there are. They're called your hands, but make sure your hands are clean and washed, obviously. I washed my hands before I started the video. And now I'm just going to gently massage the olive oil into the arugula. The only thing I want to do is I want to coat the arugula with the olive oil. You don't have to squish the arugula. You're not trying to you're not doing this. You're not squishing. You're just gently mixing the arugula with the olive oil because you want the olive oil to coat the arugula very gently, like so. All right, so that's the first step. Okay, now my hands are all oily. Let me just wash those here for a minute. All right, and now you're going to want to get some cookie trays. Well, I call them cookie trays or any type of trays that you can bake in the oven. Now, I already have my oven turned on to 350 degrees, so that's what I want. I'm going to put it on 2 separate trays here. And you want to lay the arugula on the tray in single file. Don't pile it up. If you pile it up, it won't become crispy. So you want single file on the trays. I'll show you what that looks like. Just like so. Just put some arugula on there. It doesn't have to be perfect because it will crisp up. Now, I don't bother to chop the arugula either because this is baby arugula. And the pieces, they'll crisp in the oven very nicely. So you see how I did that? And then we'll do this one here. Again, whoops, knock that over. Put a little bit more on here maybe. All right, let's go here a little bit more here, like in empty spaces. And you'll see this is gonna crisp up, okay? Can you see what I have on the trays there? You see how I have the arugula on the trays? So I don't have them piled up, okay? I've got them like in a layer. See? Now we need to put some flavoring with this. You can put a little bit of sea salt. I adore sea salt. But what I like is garlic sea salt. Now I actually buy organic garlic powder and sea salt. And I put the two in a mini food processor and mix them up together. And I make my own organic garlic sea salt, which I really like. And you're just going to shake the garlic sea salt over the arugula chips, like so. Now, some people get fancy and they put other seasonings on here. Like some people like spicy, like they put chili powder or anything like that. You can do that if you want to, but I'm telling you, they don't need anything else. They don't need anything else besides just the olive oil and a little bit of sea salt. And again, I'm using garlic sea salt because I really like garlic sea salt. Now I'm going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees and they're going to bake. Now it's because I cook all the time. I'm literally in the kitchen all the time. I never set a timer when I make my kale chips or my arugula chips. I just put them in the oven and then maybe 4 or 5 minutes later, I go and, one's on the top shelf, one's on the bottom shelf. I do switch them, okay, because they do cook differently. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, I switch them, okay, and then I'll go check them in like another 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. They should be done. I usually just intuitively just kind of know when they're done. It has a lot to do with the way that they smell. You can start to smell like the crispiness in the oven and you kind of know that it's time to take it out. All right. So hold on right there. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuned in from. Say hello. Ask me a question. That's what I'm here for, to answer your questions. I'm going to go put these in the oven. I'll be right back. Okay, so there we have the arugula chips in the oven. All right, so some other wonderful things about arugula. Again, it's in the kale family, right? The cabbage family. So lots of vitamin C, lots of iron, lots of calcium. We also have folic acid, vitamin K for your bones, vitamin A for your eyes, vitamin B, B complex vitamin, which is great. So Amy K said, I tried them recently. Your chips are awesome. Thank you, Amy. Amy really likes the arugula chips. Thank you for tuning in, Amy. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, you guys, if you're tuning in, say hello, leave a comment, ask me a question. When I go live on Facebook and YouTube, the whole purpose is to interact with everybody and anybody who's tuned in. And so, yeah, ask me questions, even if they don't have to be questions about arugula. If you've just got a question, by all means, I can answer it. And make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please remember to hit that thumbs up button. Okay, so any type of interaction really helps the algorithms. And in social media and things like that, you want to interact with the video so that it looks like it's more popular and more people will see the video. So thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. All right, back to arugula, right? All these different things that it's got. Okay, so it's bitter to the taste. Anything that is bitter to the taste feeds and nurtures your brain and your heart. According to Chinese medicine, Oriental medicine, cooking for the summertime, we eat more bitter greens because they're available from Mother Earth. They come out of the ground. And so those bitter green vegetables like arugula are for your brain and your heart. So anything bitter, put in the chat, can you think of anything else that's bitter to the taste that you eat? There's quite a few things that are bitter, but if you come up with something, put it in the chat. Really good for your bones. Arugula is great for your bones. It helps your body absorb other vitamins and minerals. It helps boost your immune system. Anything that's in the cabbage family has anti-cancer properties. And also, I mentioned calcium. Yeah, lots of calcium. And Amy K says your basil chips rock too. Thank you, Amy. Yes, basil. Basil happens to be bitter to the taste. So that's another vegetable that feeds and nurtures your brain and your heart. So you can also do what I did with the arugula, you can do with basil leaves. Just toast them in the oven. The basil leaves are actually a little thinner and they cook up a little quicker, but the basil chips are amazing. Those are actually my favorite. I really love the basil. I adore basil. I absolutely adore basil. It's one of my favorite spices, if you want to call it a spice or a plant or an herb. Oh, Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Heidi says purple cabbage. Absolutely. So purple cabbage is in the same family as the arugula. And so purple cabbage is, it is bitter if you eat it raw. But you know what happens with cabbage? It's so awesome. If you cook the cabbage is not so bitter to the taste. But yes, absolutely purple cabbage. Purple cabbage is colorful too. And we eat with our eyes first. So if the dish looks beautiful, you're going to want to eat it, right? Now, one thing that's very interesting about arugula, which is the other topic that I wanted to talk about during the live, is when you eat arugula, it helps your body produce nitric oxide. Do you know what nitric oxide is? Do you know why it's so important for your health? Everybody seems to be talking about nitric oxide lately. And so a couple of years ago, I found out that eating arugula helps to increase the nitric oxide that your body produces, which is fantastic for your heart. It's fantastic for your brain, helps boost your immune system so your body can fight off disease, bacterial infections, viruses, anything like that. It strengthens your body. But another thing that's so awesome about nitric oxide is it helps your body deal with the effects of EMFs. Do you know what EMFs are? EMFs are the invisible waves that are in the air from your cell phone or from a cell tower, EMFs, right? And so they disrupt the energetic flow of your body, And some people who are very sensitive get very sick around EMFs. So that's not good either. But when your body's producing more nitric oxide, it's like it shields your body away from those EMFs, which is another great thing. And when you eat nitric oxide, then it's like you're shielding yourself from those EMFs. And Amy K said no question mark, meaning that she does not know what nitric oxide is. So she's going to learn a lot during this live video. Okay, the arugula chips are in the oven, and I told you they've been in there for a few minutes. I need to go switch them because one is on the top shelf and one is on the bottom shelf. And I told you earlier you have to switch them so that they become crisp. All right, so those kale chips are still quite green in the oven. So I'm actually going to set a timer. Normally I don't set a timer, but when I'm doing a live and I'm talking and answering questions, sometimes I get distracted. So let's just set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to check them again in 5 minutes. Okay, so the $1 million question, what is nitric oxide? Well, let's go to the most recent blog that I just wrote on my Substack blog, which is another way that you can follow me and you can learn more about healthy food and all topics to do with health, is my Substack blog. So I'm going to share the screen right now. I got to find it. Here it is. Substack blog. Here we go. So it's my Substack blog. It's a newsletter. And so the latest one that I just wrote is about nitric oxide. So again, lately I've been hearing a lot about nitric oxide. Okay. What is it? Nitric oxide is a gas the body produces. It is a unique molecule produced in the body of all mammals. Once it is produced, it is gone in less than a second. Oh my, did you hear that? It's gone. It's in less than a second, right? In that very short period of time, though, it activates some very important messengers in your body that then starts the process of signaling for many, many functions in your body to happen. It is how the cells in your body communicate. Its most common recognized function is in the heart health, or what they call vasodilation, meaning it relaxes the inner muscles of the blood vessels, causing them to widen and increase circulation. Do you know what that means? That means it's fantastic for people who have heart issues, high blood pressure, okay? The nitric oxide will help you deal with that, okay? Nitric oxide is also a neurotransmitter in the central nervous system, making it extremely important as a signal in neurocognition deficiencies, that's your brain, of which cause neurodegenerative disorders. And it's how our immune system fights off invading pathogens, from bacteria to viruses to any type of parasites. It's a simple molecule with a significant number of roles it plays in human health. Okay, so do you understand why I bring this up and I want to talk about it? Because it's so absolutely important. And the thing is that that makes it important is the fact that the body produces it. But if we do things to the body, then the body can't produce it as well. Okay. And of course, one of those things that disrupts the natural flow of the body doing what it should to make itself healthy, is eating unhealthy foods, right? So that's what I'm all about. That's what I've been about for 28 years that I've been teaching cooking classes, is healthy, organic, whole foods, right? So you disrupt the natural healing properties, the natural health benefits of the body that the body would normally do. The body would normally produce nitric oxide, and it helps, like, I wrote in my blog, it helps with the cells messaging each other and the body working correctly and fighting off diseases, okay, and heart health. So what you want to do is you want to get rid of the refined processed foods out of your diet. And, you know, you want to start reading the labels of the food that you're buying. You'd be surprised. Like if you buy something and the list of labels is like yay long, you don't want that. You want to buy something where the list of ingredients is very plain and simple, just a few ingredients. That means it hasn't been refined and processed. There aren't any chemicals in it. It's, you know, you want to get back to Mother Nature, eating the foods that grow out of Mother Nature, like arugula, right? Arugula. Absolutely. So producing nitric oxide in the body to help your body do that, leafy greens, and arugula falls in that category, but also kale, collards. And when you choose a lettuce, try and make a lettuce that's a darker green color. That helps. Okay. So, and you want the body to produce this nitric oxide. And also another one of my favorite vegetables, beets. Eating beets helps the body produce nitric oxide. All right, let's go check those kale chips. Nope, they're not done. They are not done. Like I said, you know, at the beginning of the video, I usually don't set the timer when I make the kale chips because I'm usually cooking like 3 or 4 different things at once and they're just hanging out in the oven and I just check them. So far, the kale chips have been cooking for the 5 minutes that I set the timer and probably about 3 or 4 minutes before that. So we've got 7 minutes. I set the timer for 5 more minutes, so we'll see where they are then. All right. Back to our topic of nitric oxide. So does anybody have any questions about nitric oxide? Put those in the chat. Ask me any questions whatsoever. Let me know what you think, if this sounds interesting to you or important. And so the body gets disrupted from creating nitric oxide from, you know, bad, unhealthy food. But another thing that happens, I found this so interesting because who would have thought this? This is so interesting. Let me pull this up again. This is my blog again. Nitric oxide. There's a lot of great information here. Okay, foods to help the body. I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that because I want to draw this to your attention. What depletes the body of nitric oxide? Mouthwash. How about that? Mouthwash. I mean, I don't even remember the statistics, but so many people use mouthwash. Now, I don't personally, but I know that lots and lots of people do. Mouthwash destroys bacteria in your mouth that can contribute to the growth of cavity and other dental diseases. So that's why people would use mouthwash. Unfortunately, mouthwash kills all types of bacteria, including the beneficial ones that help produce nitric oxide in your body. Now, special bacteria in the mouth converts nitrate to nitric oxide. Okay. Humans cannot produce nitric oxide from nitrates without these bacteria. Okay. So you've got to have these bacteria in your mouth for your body to convert the food to nitric oxide for your body. And if you use mouthwash, you destroy all the bacteria, even the beneficial bacteria that your body needs. Research has shown that mouthwash kills the oral bacteria needed to produce nitric oxide for up to 12 hours. This leads to a decrease in nitric oxide production and in some instances, an increase in blood pressure. All right, so using mouthwash could increase your blood pressure. I mean, this is so interesting. Like, who knew, right? So very, very interesting that something as simple as that could be affecting you. You know, just using mouthwash could prevent your body from using the nitric oxide, or producing it. Now, another thing I want to draw to your attention, very interesting, is sometimes you come across a supplement. and the supplement will say nitric oxide on it. I've actually seen that, like a bottle, it's pills, it says nitric oxide. And until I did this research, I didn't know, but you can't sell nitric oxide in a pill. As I just explained, it's a natural gas that the body produces it. In fact, all mammals produce nitric oxide. So you can't get it from a supplement bottle. At best, the supplement bottle might have leafy green vegetables in it, such as arugula. It might have some, and beets. I told you beets will help your body produce nitric oxide. So maybe the supplement would have some whole foods in it like that would, make your body create it, but not really, not really. So you really need to eat, really good foods, like, and especially your leafy greens, like arugula and beets. They're wonderful for you. Let's go back to that list of the other foods. Let's go back to this list of other foods. All right, here we go. Foods to help the body produce nitric oxide. As I mentioned, beets, one of my all-time favorites. Arugula, we're on there right there. Garlic. Who doesn't love garlic? I know most of the people I know, most of my friends and family adore garlic. So garlic can help boost nitric oxide levels in your body. Dark chocolate. Now, let's talk about dark chocolate. It has to be unsweetened, because if you put white refined sugar with that dark chocolate, null and void, right? So yes, dark chocolate is fantastic for you, but you got to get good dark chocolate, not the stuff that's in a candy bar. And don't think if you eat a candy bar, it'll help your body produce nitric oxide. That's not the way it works, all right? Celery, another great one to help your body produce nitric oxide. And leafy green vegetables. Arugula, kale, dark lettuces, cabbages, they're all fantastic for you. And another way to increase your body's producing nitric oxide is vitamin C. Now, I get vitamin C in everything that I eat. One time I was teaching, I've been teaching classes for 28 years, and it seemed to me I kept telling the health benefits of this vegetable and this whole grain and this bean and this, everything that I eat. And every single time I was talking about a food, they all contain vitamin C. Every single one of them contain vitamin C. So it's very interesting. Vitamin E, which is a natural antioxidant that can help your body produce nitric oxide also. Polyphenols, which is a category of antioxidants and also help reduce the risk of cancer and cardiovascular disease. And glutathione, okay? So glutathione is another very interesting thing that helps the body detoxify, and it's an antioxidant. I wrote a previous blog, I think it was a year or two ago, about glutathione and where you can get glutathione. And exercise, woohoo! So if you do some exercises, that helps the body produce nitric oxide also. All right, let's go check those arugula chips. Okay, let's go check them. All right, they're done. The arugula chips are done. Woo! Smells amazing in here too. Too bad you're not here, or I don't have smell-o-vision. All right, let's move over to this countertop over here. So the pans are hot, right? Because they just came out of the oven. Now, what I do is I get another dish or pan or whatever. Turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing. And I take this is what they look like when they're done. They're not very pretty, right? But I put just scrape them into the other dish right here, like so. Get this one. This is what it looks like. Oh, that one you can see a little better. My skylight just kicked in, so the light came down from above so you can see it. All right, we'll put those on there like so. All right, here is our arugula chips. They kind of stick together, but see? They're crispy, they're crunchy, and they taste really good. Mmm. Mmm. Do you see that stem? The stem gets crispy also. You can eat the leaf and the stem. Mmm. 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 Oh, it's so good. So absolutely good. Mmm. 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 Oh, I tried to eat it too fast. Sorry. Amy K says yum. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna do the whole container of it, so I can use these trays again. Right, spread the arugula out there like so. You don't want them piled on top of each other. You want like a single file, right? I'm going to try and do this in 2 batches here. And, oh, okay, so after you crisp them up, after you bake them, they will last for weeks. Although you're probably going to eat them up before the weeks are over and done with. But put them in a container with a lid. But you don't have to refrigerate them. Don't refrigerate them. You don't have to. As long as they're in a container with a lid, they will remain crispy and crunchy for a couple weeks. And I'm going to put some garlic sea salt on there. Yum. Put this batch in the oven. Now, do you guys have any questions about arugula? Any questions about nitric oxide? Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you could hit that like button or that thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuned in from. Ask any question you want, or just put a comment in there. Do you think you're going to make these arugula chips? Like I said, they're not that hard to make. They're easy, really. So what I do for a living is I teach cooking classes. I've been teaching cooking classes for 28 years. I am the author of 7 cookbooks. My latest cookbook is Sensational Sublime Sea Vegetable, which is a e-cookbook, and that's available on my website, macrovale.com. All the recipes are about sea vegetables. I even have desserts, cookies, muffins, all sea vegetables because they're very nutrient dense. The upcoming cooking classes that I have are for summer. Like I said, it is the 19th. So in 2 days, it's going to be the first day of summer. Yay! I don't know about you, but I love summer. I love all the seasons, but I've got to say summer is my favorite, especially because I was born in July. So I love the hot weather and going outside and having fun. Guilt-free snacks. Thanks, Val. Amy K says, absolutely. They're guilt-free snacks. some of the healthiest snacks you can possibly come up with are the arugula chips. Absolutely. In the summertime, I do outdoor grilling cooking class. Yes, even though you eat healthy, organic, whole foods that are vegan or vegetarian, there's all kinds of recipes that you can cook outside on your grill. And I love teaching the outdoor grilling classes. On Wednesday, June 25th, which is next Wednesday, it's a 3-hour class from 6 until 9 because there's a lot of recipes. And I'm going to go Mexican on the grill. I'm going to grill asparagus with Mexican flavoring and everything. I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to grill sweet potatoes and onions, and we're going to put that all together in a roll up. And I'm also going to teach you how to make tofu sour cream and one of my latest favorite dishes, cucumber salsa. And we're going to put all that on a roll up, and we're going to make like this Mexican roll up with grilled flavoring. That's not all. We're also going to do dessert. Yes, I'm doing dessert on the grill. I call it zucchini apple fritters. They're not really fritters because they're Mexican. They're more like a thick pancake batter that we're going to mix together, and we're going to put it on the grill. We're going to brown it on each side. It's like a little delicious dessert pancake, and we're serving it with a raspberry sauce. Yep, that's next Wednesday from 6 until 9. Now, I am here in Michigan, so if you live close to me, you can attend that class in person. But if you don't, I also have the class available for virtual. You can attend through Zoom. And now, let me say you're thinking in your head, but I don't have a grill. That's okay. You don't have to cook these recipes on the grill. All of them could be cooked in your house, on your stove, in a saute pan, or if you have like a griddle or something like that, you could do it like that, right? But it's fun to cook outside and do the outdoor grilling class. So that's what I have coming up next Wednesday on the 25th. And I mentioned that a way to increase the nitric oxide that your body produces for your heart health, for your brain health, is to eat chocolate. But we need some healthy chocolate, right? So guess what? The next cooking class after the grilling class is on Wednesday, July 2nd. Now, this class is virtual only, so it's just you have to attend through Zoom. But I have created the most delicious, light and fluffy, mousse-like chocolate cream pie and chocolate ice cream. And I'm going to teach you how to make both those. Yes, they're vegan, gluten-free, no refined sugar. They're absolutely delicious. Look, I made the pie. Let me show you the pie. And it also has a cookie crumb crust. And in the class, I am going to give you the recipe for my cinnamon ginger cookies that I use to make the cookie crumb crust. So we're also going to make the cookies, the crust, the delicious chocolate filling, and the ice cream. Here is the chocolate ice cream. Again, vegan, no refined sugar, gluten-free, organic ingredients to boot, creamy, delicious, wonderful. The only problem with this chocolate ice cream is I can't stop eating it. It's so delicious. Now, recently, I went into a Fresh Time here by my house in Michigan. I don't know if other states have Fresh Time, but a Fresh Time is like a health food store. They have organic vegetables, things there. And I took a look at the vegan ice creams there. You know, there was not one that I would eat. The ingredients were absolutely terrible. They all had multiple sweeteners in it, not just one, but multiples that were so ridiculously sweet, like agave. I would never eat anything with agave in it. It's just so sweet. Stevia, I would never eat stevia. It's way too sweet. sucrose, dextrose. I don't eat any of those things. They're way too sweet. So I thought, well, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And I was inspired, this creation of the chocolate cream pie, it was just something that I came up with. And then I thought, well, what happens if I freeze the filling? Well, if you freeze the filling, you get the most delicious creamy chocolate ice cream ever. Okay. So that class is celebrating the 4th of July, July 2nd. You're going to have delicious chocolate desserts to celebrate the 4th of July, right? So again, that's virtual from 7 to 8:30, right? And I know you want to attend that cooking class. So let me show you my website. This is my website, macroval.com. See, here's the new sea vegetable cookbook. You can click on here and get that. And then if you click over here where it says cooking classes, it takes you to the cooking class page. And it shows you the June Mexican outdoor grilling class. You can sign up for it there. And the ultimate chocolate cream pie and chocolate ice cream cooking class. It's Wednesday, July 2nd. It is not the 3rd. That's a typo, and that will be fixed. It is Wednesday, July 2nd. And in the class, you are going to also learn how to make whipped aquafaba, because that is the base of this, whipped aquafaba. It's sweetened with brown rice syrup. The ginger cookies I'm going to teach you how to make, the chocolate pudding, and this is absolutely delicious. I think it's one of the best recipes I've ever created. And the ice cream is to die for. It is so good. Yeah. Let's check that second batch of arugula chips. Nope, not done. All right, so updates for you. I always give you updates on 2 items that I find that very, very important: Protect the Porkies and Save Our Ostriches. All right, so Protect the Porkies. Here in Michigan, we have a beautiful state park called the Porcupine Mountains State Park. It is located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. My all-time favorite place to go is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And the Porcupine Mountains was voted the most beautiful state park in the whole United States in 2023. I mean, people come from all over the world to go to the Porcupine Mountains. It's just vast wilderness. There's like no infrastructure there. There's no electricity, no cell towers. I mean, it's just out in the woods. It's out in the wilderness. And you can go camping there. You can hike. And it's just beautiful, pristine wilderness. And they want to build a mine site right next to the Porcupine Mountains, also right next to Lake Superior. This would be the closest mine site ever to Lake Superior. The possibility of contamination is huge. Now, last night, Tom created the website Protect the Porkies. He's pretty much the founder of this movement. He did a town hall meeting and it was virtual. So I was able to attend. Lots of people attended, and they gave us a presentation, an overview of what's happening up there. Of course, I've been following it for a couple of years now, but it was a great presentation. And then what we need to do, take action, things that we can do to stop, this from happening. Basically, just tell everybody that you know. Okay. So I've written blogs about it. I talk about it every time I go live on Facebook and YouTube. It's called Protect the Porkies. Go to the website. There is a petition on the website. It will take you literally seconds to just fill out your name and your email. And you're saying, hey, we don't want the beautiful, pristine Porcupine Mountains messed up by a mine site next to it. Okay. That's what you need to do. Let's go screen share. Protect the Porkies. Here it is, protecttheporkies.com. This is where you want to go. And it gives you all kinds of information. See, here's the map, the beautiful Porcupine Mountains. Look how huge it is. And here's where they want to put the section 5 is where they want to put the mine site, right next to the state park, right next to Lake Superior. It's also right next to the North Country Trail, which is a really long hiking trail that it's supposed to be pristine, wilderness, quietness. You're in the middle of the woods, and they want to put this mine site right next to this hiking trail. It's just not a good place. Look at these pictures of the Porcupine Mountains. Again, I've been there many times. It's so gorgeous. So there's a lot of information on the website. You really need to go to the website to find out why it would be so horrible. Gravity taking all the debris and everything and dumping it into Lake Superior, which we don't want to happen. The possibility of, something contaminating Lake Superior, which is one of the biggest freshwater supplies we have on the planet. We don't want that to happen. Also, the people that are proposing to do this mining is called Copperwood. They have zero on-paper mining experience. Yeah. It's also located of the 1854 tribal treaty of land that's owned by the natives up there. So that doesn't make any sense. They also want to mine directly underneath the state park, which would be crazy. Like I said, there's no infrastructure up there. They have no electricity, nothing. And they want to disrupt this wilderness and bring electricity, and they want to upgrade the roads. Well, you know what that means. They're going to destroy the wilderness and the quietness and the peacefulness up there. So that's Protect the Porkies. Like I said, follow it. You can sign up for their emails and you'll get notified of what's going on. Now, the other issue that I've been following for a few months now that I tell everybody about is the 400 British Columbia Canadian ostriches that are under the threat of being killed. If you have not heard of this, this is the Universal Ostrich Farm in British Columbia, Canada. Back in late December, they had a couple birds die, and they had them tested. The Canadian government, the CFIA in Canada, is part of their government, but they tested the dead birds with a PCR test, and it showed that they had bird flu. Since then, the family has not been able to test the rest of the flock. They were told that they had to kill all 400 ostriches, and they couldn't retest them. Some of these ostriches are 25, 30 years old, and this family has raised them that long. It's really heartbreaking, the family itself. So this was late December. So we got January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months. 6 months they've been under threat that all of their beautiful birds will be killed. They have tried to fight it. They tried to go to court, but then they came back saying, nope, we're going to kill all your birds. And they have submitted an appeal. Okay, so they're waiting to hear what's going to happen next with that. Here's their website, saveourostriches.com. May 13th, 2025, the court ruled in favor of the CFIA, upholding their order to destroy our beloved ostriches and rejecting our plea to save them. They have a huge legal fees also. If you are financially able, they are looking for donations. Support the farmers if you can. Save the ostriches. Look, here's Kickaroo, here's Shelly, here's Spirit. See, they all have names. There's Carrie, these beautiful ostriches. There's a lot of information, the latest news about what's going on. You can follow them on Facebook. They do live videos on Facebook. I find the most information on Facebook following them, which is great. SaveOurOstriches.com. You can just look it up on Facebook, and they tell you what's going on. And so that's stop screen sharing. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this, of course, because, I'm here in the United States and they're in Canada, and I get that. And maybe some people watching this video are from Canada. You know what you can do? You can send them love, or you can pray. If you want to call it praying, that's fine. I call it sending love. Just surround these beautiful ostriches with love. send your love to, you know, Karen and Katie. They are, Karen is the lady who lives there. Katie is her daughter, and they're fighting this, and it's just heartbreaking. Think about it. Every single day you wake up not knowing if your beautiful birds are going to be killed. This is what they've been going through for 6 months. It's sad. So I just tell everybody I know about this. And the more people that know about it, the more it's not going to get done, because it's now getting nationwide. I mean, the whole world, places of the world have heard about it, and it is being covered so much more than if it just went underneath the rug and nobody talked about it, right? So that is a good thing that people are talking about it now, but you definitely need to, if you can't do anything else, just keep them in your prayers, basically. All right, let's check the next batch of arugula chips. We're all be done. Oh yeah, they're done. All right, one last look at my beautiful chocolate cream mousse pie. This pie is so creamy and delicious. And my chocolate ice cream, I got to put this back in the freezer before it melts. You're going to learn how to make these chocolate dishes Wednesday, July 2nd, 4th of July coming up. You want to get these dessert recipes. And here's our arugula chips. You guys go out to the store and get some organic arugula and make some of these arugula chips for you to enjoy. Help your body create some of that nitric oxide. Here we go. All right, so go to my website, macroval.com, and check out all the resources that I have to offer. I would love to see you in an upcoming cooking class. That would be so much fun. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this video on replay and you're not live or whatever, you can ask me questions and put it in the chat, and I will see them and answer them for you. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. And for now, get in the kitchen and cook healthy.